Hey, Kelly. Yeah, one of the issues that they had was what they found was, although they call it a pretty good incubator for ideas for how to, improve outcomes and, of course, reduce the cost in American healthcare, which is obviously out of control, they basically had the issue that they were going ahead and executing and experimenting essentially on their own employee bases, whether they live, Amazon's case predominantly in Seattle, or with, Chase and Columbus and in New York, and with Berkshire Hathaway, with their own, employee base like Geico, where they're based. And they essentially found that a lot of their learnings didn't really apply to the broader group, and that it became somewhat unwieldy. So, 3 years out of, in this effort that was supposed to dramatically disrupt healthcare, they found that it was better to go on their own.
So, Hugh, you make it sound almost like the challenges were purely logistical of trying to get these three companies to cooperate together. But was there anything in their early efforts that suggested that their goal was unrealistic?
I mean, I think let's take a step back. It is laudable what they attempted to do. Here you have the three CEOs, obviously Berkshire Hathaway, Chase, and Amazon, titans of the industry, and they wanted to basically improve healthcare for their own employees, but also for the rest of us. And so, it obviously came with a lot of pressure, a lot of attention. The day this was announced, there was, a mass, hit in a lot of the healthcare stocks. So we should, give them credit for trying. I do think, though, that, that credit, that pressure made it difficult for them. The structure in which they created, they were essentially a nonprofit. Some have reported that essentially that the fact that you couldn't give people, equity in this company, that you couldn't give people, super high salaries, that was potentially an issue for them. And so I think, they basically found that let's pivot, let's go forward with these projects. Let's continue to collaborate where it makes sense informally, but let's not call it Haven anymore.
Yeah, I remember they had the high-profile CEO, Atul Gawande, was it, who left,
right,
I think last year. But that now, in retrospect, I mean, you always, when you see a CEO departure, wonder if it's a sign of bigger problems. And now, in retrospect, it clearly was. So while they're, as you say, going to pursue a lot of these efforts on their own, and these are all very big, influential, powerful companies who can certainly achieve plenty on their own without working together, does it mean it's hopeless for the rest of us? This idea of, more affordable, more streamlined healthcare. I mean, the healthcare system in this country is a complete nightmare. And it doesn't sound like the three most powerful players coming together could really do much to solve it.
Yeah, no, Kelly. So Dr. Atul Gawande, you mentioned accurately that he left. He left in May. They were in the midst of a search for a successor CEO, and obviously, this move obviates that. But clearly, that's a sign, of difficulty internally that it's hard to see from the outside. The fact that they have, elevated turnover beneath Gawande's level, people who reported to him also left as well. I think those are other signs of turbulence internally.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.